I think that whatever you're putting into a tonal frequency of voice, it's, it's like when a child is being screamed at, the child's nervous system is being affected. I have a neighbor right now that is abusing his dog, and I'm this close to calling the authorities. And that dog, when it's in pain, I just go into sort of like, oh my God, and I want to get angry, and I want to, that's that instinctual thing. But you want to be a diplomat. You want to handle it.
Because it doesn't work to get angry.
It doesn't.
He'll get meaner.
Well, there could be repercussions.
Yeah, oh, for you too.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that our style of communication, we need to be much more conscious of how we're toning our conversation and how we're speaking. Another thing, what are you thinking about when you're communicating with another and it's in a relationship? What are you saying to another person about your money situation right now and your finances? If you're around a lot of elderly people, sometimes they seem to have a need to talk about all their aches and pains and describe those operations, and it gets pretty graphic. And as a sensitive, I can't listen to someone describe their operation because I'm right there. Yes, I do.
Oh.
And it's like stop them right up front.
Besides, it's not a fun topic.
Well, but it's something that they need some attention about,
Or they maybe don't have much more to talk about.
Well,
that's what their life becomes.
But that's why I'm bringing it up. It's not going to lift the vital life force on their bodies if they're going to talk about that. If you're going to complain about your boss 24/7, you're putting the energy into the situation between you and your boss.
Yeah, can we talk about wealth? Because a lot of people have fear around wealth right now. So I tell my daughter, I tell my friends, don't say I can't afford it. Even if you realistically think you can't, never say I can't afford it. Just say I choose not to buy that right now.
Absolutely.
Good
point.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's a good point.
Money is an issue. Is a
My
big issue.
abundance is on its way.
Yes, right.
Every day.
Every day. And the present tense is very important as well.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
Because everything is in the now.
It is.
Hey, who's doing the interview here? Oh, I've been hanging around you so much, I know the answers. Okay. So any more about the communication? That pretty much covers communication.
I think so.
Until we get to media.
I think so.
Now, one thing, since you're a psychic, and you probably do more of this than I do, you spend probably time in contemplation, thinking about things.
Well, contemplation means that you stop thinking and you start relaxing. It would be like just walking out in nature and not thinking about anything except feeling.
Oh, and you can feel in nature.
Using your senses to see the flowers. What color are they? What insects may be around. I mean, really things that still the mind, where all of this noise is going on in your life. If you don't take time to contemplate, then the noise is making decisions for your life and preventing you from actually being clear, being grounded, and making good decisions. And I just believe the best thing you can do in a contemplation is take a walk out in nature, go swim. There's a lot of things. You already know. I don't have to tell you. You know when I say contemplation, I mean stop thinking.
Well, I know what you mean because I was in Canada one time and I actually had a spiritual experience. I looked down at this lake and I've never seen a lake that color. It was like a turquoise I'd never seen, and I think it was glacier fed, so it wasn't moving. It was like a picture. It was absolutely beautiful. And today I was out walking, I was picking blackberries, so I was taking my mind off any, not that I have problems, but any issues maybe, and just thinking about the pie I was going to make after I collected all those blackberries.
Again, that's like a contemplation.
Like
You went out and pick some blackberries, and that's sort of like a natural contemplation to keep the noise out. We've got so much noise bombarding us on a daily basis that if you don't vacuum this out of your mind, it gets to the body, and it goes into the emotional body first, hangs out there for a while, finds your genetic weak links, and then moves into that place within your body, which might be one of your vital organs. So once you're in the static, you're going to attract more static, and we're talking about the laws of cause and effect. Where you put your mind, you can think about a lot of things. I'll tell you what the key is. You can think about anything and it doesn't charge until you put your emotions to it. Once you put your emotions to it, it's like a match lit, and it's actually, a psychic can actually, or healer, can actually feel or see this operating on the field around you. That's why they came up with the saying, seeing red when somebody's really, really angry. Oh, I'm seeing red, I'm so angry. Well,
Or
red
I'm
is
feeling
root.
blue. I'm feeling blue.
Feeling blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. When somebody says they're feeling blue, that means that their yardstick is dropping down, 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 down. When it gets so low and into hopeless, that's when people get suicidal. If that isn't interfered with and that life force isn't raised, then what happens is there's all of these, what I call mind viruses of thoughts, come in and continue to occupy and kick out the life force. And that's really what illness is. It's an absence of light.
Most illnesses are caused by your thoughts too, about your
Yes.
your negative thoughts. And you know, when you talk about your thoughts and the emotions behind it, I mean, if you look at a positive light, that was the secret, the law of attraction.
Right.
If you want to attract the good into your life, reverse what you're doing for the bad.
Exactly.
Think good thoughts and put that emotion behind it, and you will attract that good into your life.
One of the things that may be helpful to all of you is to consider getting an outline of a body chart, noticing where all of your vital organs are, and asking what emotions are being held in that particular organ. You could say, okay, body, because the body has intelligence, it will respond. You would say, do I have any anger in my heart? If the answer intuitively comes back yes, then you'll ask it, how old is it? When did it first start? It's like, it has branches or roots. It goes out. So it goes from anger, it goes to blame, it goes to judgment. And your body basically is absorbing this. When you get to be an adult, you come to a time of reason where you have choice. When you're a child, we don't think in terms of choices when we're a child. Matter of fact, we feel like we don't have a lot of choices when we're small. But when we get older, we have a responsibility to educate ourselves about our body, educate ourselves about what we like, what we don't like, where are our gifts. We have a lot of abilities there to start asking the right questions of ourselves. And I think this is the time, if there was ever a time in history where you need to get to know who you really are, it's now. Because life as we know it is changing. Your body is changing biochemically. Your DNA is changing. We are birthing children on this planet that have a different DNA than us. They even have a different blood type. There's extraordinary children being born all over the world. They even have special schools for them in China and in Mexico and Canada and, of course, the United States. These children have an ability to read a newspaper with their foot. I've actually saw an interview of a girl out of Mexico who was 17 years old, and her abilities were beyond anything I'd ever seen.
I'm a little lost here. You mean they're turning the pages, or I don't understand?
She takes off her shoe, puts her foot onto a newspaper, and can read the whole entire newspaper.
Wow.
That is sensory perception personified. But they're being born. They've been around. They're called crystals and rainbows. That's how,
Crystal children. I've got a book on that. There was something that came before the crystal children. I can't remember, but there was another.
The indigos.
Indigos, yeah.
Yeah, the indigos.
Why can't we believe it? I mean, there's a lot of unusual things in the world, right? Now, speaking of things in the world, I used to work in news, and it can get depressing. It's negative, negative, negative almost all the time. Once in a while, there'll be a good feature story, or there'll be a positive story, but most of the time when I'm watching the news, I turn it off. I get dragged down.